Okay, this is the grammar lesson for Chapter 5, Section 1. So last week we did the accusative case with definite and indefinite articles, and this week we're moving to the accusative case or the direct object pronouns. So if you remember, we have the nominative or subject pronouns ich, du, er, sie, es, wir, ihr, sie, und sie. This time we're adding mich, dich, ihn, sie, es, uns, euch, sie, und sie. So these are the accusative case pronouns that we see here in red and green. And if we look at the nominative or subject pronouns, so ich changing to mich. In English we think of this as I changing to me. The next one would be du to dich, and that would be like you, and unfortunately in English it's still you. There's no change. With er, sie, es, we have he, she, it, and then again changing from German and English back and forth. Ihn, sie, es being him, her, and it. On the right side we have wir changing to uns, or in English we to us. So uns kind of looks and sounds a little bit like us. Ihr changing to euch would be you guys, or you plural changing to, again, you plural or you guys. And then on the bottom, sie und sie, so they, and you formal changing to them, and again you. We don't have the formal one in English, but again in German, sie und sie. Okay, so it's very similar to English in terms of the actual concept, the way that the pronouns change, but a little bit different. So we're going to look at some sentences that we had, or similar sentences to last week, where we changed some things, or sentences we've had even before last week. So these are before the accusative, so we saw sentences like this earlier this year. Taking a look at our first one, we have Der Kuli ist teuer, so the pen is expensive. If we wanted to say the sentence with a pronoun, we could just say er ist teuer. And we're using er because der Kuli is masculine. It's also the subject of the sentence. And the reason that it's the subject is because we have our verb here, ist, and we can ask the question then, okay, what is expensive? The pen. And because the pen is the thing that is using the verb or acting in some way, being expensive, then it's the subject. So er ist teuer. Our next one, die Couch ist bequem. That changes to sie ist bequem. Sie because it's feminine and the subject. Das Haus ist schön. That would change to es ist schön. Again, es because it's neuter this time, but still the subject. And then for our last one here we have die Kinder sind laut. And that changes to sie sind laut. Again, sie because we're now talking about a plural thing, they are loud. Now, if we add the accusative into our sentences, so using direct objects in a sentence, we have done this, we did this last week, but we haven't done it yet with a pronoun. So we're going to walk through a few that we have with the accusative case sentences here, like the four on the left, and then I'm going to explain how that ties into the accusative case using that with a pronoun in the sentence. So the first one, ich kaufe den Kuli. This is I'm buying the pen. So last week we saw that we have to change our definite articles or indefinite articles to reflect the fact that they're objects. And the reason that the pen is now the object of the sentence is because kaufe is our verb and ich is the subject. So I am buying. I would be the subject because I am the one that's completing the action. I'm the one that's buying something. Now the object of the sentence, the direct object, is what's being directly affected by the verb, and in this case it's the pen, because the pen is being bought. Okay, so that's why it's the accusative case, den Kuli, and then if we want to change it, into a pronoun. So if we want to change den Kuli to be a pronoun, and instead of saying I'm buying the pen, say I'm buying it, because the pen is masculine, we have to change it to ihn, which is the same pronoun that we would use for him, but because German has 3 different genders for nouns, we have to reflect that gender even in inanimate objects. So we would say ich kaufe ihn. For the second one, hast du die Schultasche? We would change it to hast du sie? And it's changing to sie because it's feminine, die Schultasche. The third one, wir möchten das Kleid. We would like the dress. Changes to wir möchten es. Es because das Kleid is neuter. And then hast du die Bücher? Changes to hast du sie. So going from do you have the books to do you have them? All right, I'm going to give you 5 sentences here. They're written in English. All you have to do is try to change them to German. If you want to pause the video right now, you can, and that way when the answers show in a few seconds here, you can work on them and then press play and then come back to the answers. So pause your video now if you want to try a few of these or all of them, and then in a few seconds here the answers will pop up. Alright, so these are the answers. I first wrote them out exactly how they are, and then I replaced them with the pronouns. So I'm looking for the chair, change that to ich suche den Stuhl, and then because it's den Stuhl, to put it in pronoun form I would just say ich suche ihn. So instead of saying I'm looking for the chair, I'm saying I'm looking for it, but it has to reflect the masculine accusative part. Number 2, hast du den Rock? Again, same reason, hast du ihn? Ihn because it's masculine and accusative. Number 3, would you like the t-shirt? Would be möchtest du das T-Shirt? And then that changes to möchtest du es? Because of the neuter accusative. Number 4, we have the jacket, becomes wir haben die Jacke, and that would change to wir haben sie, and sie because it's feminine and accusative. And then number 5, they need the shoes. Sie brauchen die Schuhe, which would change to sie brauchen sie. And it changes to sie because it is plural. So we're saying them. All right, please complete the assignments for this section of grammar. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask either during one of my office hours or through email or whatever it is. All right, good luck.